Long ago, in a quiet little village, there lived a proud farmer named Henry. He was known for his large yam barn, his cows, and his booming voice that always spoke with authority. But above all, Henry always said one thing: a man is not a real man unless he has a son to carry his name. His wife, Mary, was a gentle and kind woman. She had given birth to 5 beautiful daughters: Anna, Grace, Rose, Clara, and little Esther. The girls were like flowers in the homestead, but to Henry they were nothing. He wanted a boy, and each time Mary gave him a girl, his heart grew colder. The people in the village loved Mary and her daughters. They would say, "Children are blessings, whether boys or girls." But Henry only heard the whispers of other men mocking him. "He has no son. Who will inherit his land when he is gone?" They would laugh. Every time Henry walked through the market, shame burned in his chest. Instead of cherishing his daughters, he grew bitter. Mary tried to comfort him, saying, "The Lord gives as he wishes. Let us be thankful." But Henry's heart had turned into stone. One fateful morning, Henry woke up angry. He gathered his wife and 5 daughters before the house and shouted, "You have failed me, Mary. 5 girls and no boy. What use are you to me?" Mary's eyes filled with tears as the girls clung to her skirts. "Henry, they are your blood. Do not do this to them," she begged. But Henry had already made up his mind. He dragged their few belongings out and threw them on the dusty street. The neighbors gasped as they saw Mary and her daughters sitting helplessly by the roadside. "Henry, fear God," one old man shouted. But Henry only turned his back and went into his house, locking the door behind him. Mary hugged her girls tightly. Their tears fell into the sand as the sun set that evening. She whispered, "Do not cry, my darlings. Where there is life there is hope. The same God who gave us breath will not let us die." That night, as they sat shivering under a tree, a kind stranger passed by. His name was Mr. Thomas, a trader who often traveled from village to village. Seeing their condition, he stopped. "Woman, why are you and these children sleeping outside?" he asked. Mary explained her sad story. Mr. Thomas sighed deeply. "What a heartless man! But do not fear, woman. You and your children will not sleep on the street again." He took them into his compound and gave them food and a place to rest. With time, Mary began to help Thomas's wife in her small shop. The girls helped fetch water, sweep, and sell goods. Slowly they began to smile again. Thomas was amazed at how hard-working Mary's daughters were. He said, "These children will grow to be great. You must never let anyone make them feel less because they are girls." His words lit hope in their hearts. As the years went by, Anna, the eldest, learned how to sew. Grace became a fine cook. Rose excelled at storytelling. Clara sang beautifully. And little Esther grew wise beyond her years. They worked hard and earned respect in the community. People began to say, "Mary's daughters are treasures. Any man would be proud to have them." But far away, Henry still sat in his empty house, proud and bitter. Without his wife and daughters, Henry's home became silent. His farm grew weeds, and his cows became weak. The men who once mocked him now mocked him even more. "Your pride has destroyed you," they said. One day Henry fell ill. There was no one to cook for him, no one to fetch water, no one to care. He lay on his mat, remembering the faces of his little girls, but it was too late. One day, the king of the land announced a great feast. He wanted skilled people to show their talents. Mary's daughters were invited. Anna displayed her sewing. Grace cooked a delicious meal. Rose told a story that made everyone laugh. Clara sang like a bird, and little Esther gave wise answers that amazed the elders. The king stood and declared, "These girls are rare jewels. Their mother has raised them well. They will be honored in this kingdom." Cheers filled the palace. When news of the king's feast spread, Henry heard it from his sick bed. "Your daughters have brought honor to the village," the people told him. Shame covered his face like ashes. He whispered, "My daughters, my blood, and I cast them away." Tears rolled down his cheeks. For the first time in years, Henry felt regret burning in his chest. Too weak to walk, Henry sent for Mary. When she arrived with her daughters, he fell to the ground, weeping. "Forgive me, Mary. Forgive me, my children. I was blind with pride. I thought only a son could make me great, but now I see, you daughters are greater than gold." Mary, with a gentle heart, raised him up. But the girls, though kind, stood back. They remembered the night they were thrown on the street. Mary knelt before her daughters and said, "Children, do not let bitterness live in your hearts. Forgive your father, not because he deserves it, but because forgiveness will set your hearts free." The girls wept and embraced Henry. "Father," they said, "we forgive you. But may this be a lesson to all men, that daughters are also blessings from God." Henry cried loudly, knowing how foolish he had been. Henry lived a few more years under the care of Mary and the daughters he once rejected. He told every man he met, "Never despise your daughters. Sons and daughters are gifts from the same God." And so the story spread across the villages. Parents began to love their daughters more, and children grew up knowing that true wealth is not in sons or daughters, but in love, unity, and kindness. Moral of the story: pride and foolishness can destroy a man, but forgiveness and love can heal even the deepest wounds. My people, let this story remain in your hearts. Pride can destroy, but love and forgiveness can heal. Sons and daughters are equal blessings from God. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and share, so more people can learn from the wisdom of our folk tales.